Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Reverend Kathy Patton Thompkins. I'm a former pastor and currently a hospital chaplain. And I have the privilege this evening to introduce you to two wonderful women who are powerful, strong, and inspiring role models. They both have a story to tell, a redemption story about the goodness of God and how God could take ashes in our lives and make beauty out of it. So I would like to introduce to you Elizabeth Quiros and Lisa Diaz-McQuaid. They're both survivors of human trafficking. They both are survivors of sexual abuse, psychological, substance abuse since childhood. But currently, they have wonderful redemption stories to share with us today, and that's what we want to do. They have, God has done amazing things. They are miracles. I'm sitting with two miracles, thank God. And so I want to introduce them both and have them kind of tell their story about what they want you to know of what God has done in their life, from the ashes to the beauty. So I'm going to start with Elizabeth first. Quiros, would you like to tell us what has God done for you since childhood?
Well, he's done a lot of things for me. He's been there with me throughout all of my trauma, throughout everything I've been through. It was just hard for me to see because of my brokenness, because of my pain, because of the lies I believed, because I didn't know who I was, and I didn't know the true love of the Father. Growing up, I knew of Jesus. I didn't know the real Jesus, the real God. I only heard of him, and I knew the religion of him, like the religious perspective. And I learned that if I sinned, I was going to hell. So I didn't want any part of that. And so that scared me. So I ran the other direction. So there was many times when I was being trafficked on the streets, that God sent people, to show me that he was there. But like I said, because of my brokenness and my pain and my anger, my unforgiveness, and the lies I believed, I couldn't see him. There was a situation where I ended up robbing, when I was 16 years old, I robbed a John, and those are men that purchase women or children. I robbed a John and put a knife to his neck, and I robbed him. And when I ended up, running away from that and jumped in a taxi, I realized the money I had was fake money. And when I realized that, I started crying. I broke because I'm like, well, I did all that just for fake money. And so I was hysterical. And when I was in this the taxi driver car, the guy turned around and said, "Hey, I don't know what you're going through, but God's telling me to pray for you." And I said, "What? God?" And I got angry because I'm like, why? Like, why me? Like, why all of a sudden now? All these years, I was in so much pain, so much anger. Because my abuse started at the age of 4. And so I let him pray for me though, because I was desperate. And it's like kind of like I was broken at that moment. But I see now that God was just telling me, "Baby girl, I'm with you. I got your back." Like all those situations, I'm alive today to be able to say, "Hey, this is what I went through, and this is what I'm doing in my life now. And I know God's not going to use all that pain I went through, and it's not going to go in vain. Like he's going to use it, and it's not going to go in vain." And so there was another situation where I got in a car accident. It was a three-pile car accident, and I was this close to falling off the mountain, like up the edge, but because I screamed Jesus, it just came out of me. I said Jesus, and we spun. I didn't have my seatbelt on, and so I left that car accident with no scratches. And I just want to say, like, those situations, God meets us in our darkest moments, and he hears our voices and he hears our prayers, and we just have to I didn't believe it at the time. I just said it, but in reality, God knows our hearts, and he knows that eventually when he keeps showing up like that, we are going to believe. And so I just want to say he's been there the whole time in my life. And now he's just showing me all the time that he comes through. Even at the last minute, he comes through. That's just building my faith,
Yes.
And so he's literally restoring my life, and he's given me more things I've never comprehended, I could never experience. I've used this term a lot because I've heard it from this great mentor of ours, Pastor Kim. She'll say his vision board blows ours out the water. So basically, my little vision or what I think is going to happen is nothing compared to what God has in store for us.
Yes.
And so I'm just really grateful for what he's doing in my life today.
Wow, that's awesome. Woo! I've like elevated out of my seat since that.
Thank you.